Getting Dylan ready for school in the morning is like such a task. It's usually okay by like Wednesday, but the first couple of days of the week after he's had a couple of days off are awful. He's just so miserable, doesn't want to go. He's been like this since kindergarten. On with the vlog. Is it the finale of The Walking Dead? The end of the battle between Negan and Rick. Oh, it's so exciting. I didn't even check Facebook this morning, which I always do first thing in the morning on purpose because I didn't want anybody to spoil this for me because I didn't watch it last night. So here we go. Yeah, they're definitely out here waiting for Amanda. You guys want food or like what? You looking for food? I talked about it yesterday, a possible reset to the vlog, trying to come up with some new ideas. So I get the laptop out today and I sit it down. I'm ready. I'm like motivated to do such things, and my laptop's been updating for like an hour. So I had a couple other things I had to do too, and I can't get those done. It's frustrating when things like that happen. So I guess I'm just gonna play some Fortnite. Also, update on the blendies. I'm a little behind, and technically they would be like 5 days away. It's not going to happen in 5 days. So I'm going to do like halfway into May. That way we can have the whole year, this last year or two, to pick through. I can get voting done. I'm just, with Little League and kid sports and everything that's been going on, I've been so busy that it's not even funny. So I'm a little behind. So I need to give myself a new deadline, or maybe not give myself a deadline because I'm clearly not good with deadlines. So we'll go from there. So the blendies are coming. They will happen. Just not on the official day. I want it to be a good show. I want it to be something I could be proud of. If I rush it, I'm not going to be proud of it. It's just going to be thrown together. And I've got to a stage in my professional vlogging and YouTubing career where I have to be proud of the things I'm doing. And I can't rush them. So it is what it is, guys. Everybody's out of school early today, and no kids have practices, which is cool because it's gross outside. So we're here to pick Gavin. Which kid are we picking? We're here to pick Dylan up from school. So, because I'm a nice parent. See how thin my face looks, though? Like legit. Wow. I know. I really kind of do. You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. I know you want me. So don't say our hands are tied. Claim it's not in the stars. Blah 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 blah. That you're my destiny. Wow, that was a good spin. Earlier, I talked about how I'm behind on the blendies. This would be like part of the reason. It's my day off from work, but I'm on my way to work because things are broke. So this has been like the life for a while now. It seems like, and I'm not complaining, but when things don't go your way, it becomes frustrating, and it becomes hard to do things you really want to do. So that's the situation I'm in, but it'll be okay. I will fight through it. Yeah. Me enjoying my dinner with all my family. Oh, no, I'm not, because I already ate dinner while I was stuck at work trying to fix things. But the good news is I got it fixed, so that's good. Thumbs up to me. So here's an idea. I'm thinking one day a week we'll put a podcast inside the vlog. A podcast, I just Googled it, is an audio file available for download on the internet. So essentially, the audio file of the Bergie Blender podcast would be available on the internet because it would be available on YouTube. So we can do a podcast. So today, on our BlenderCast, that's what I'm going to call it, a BlenderCast, we're going to talk about how you make a blended family work in our first episode of our BlenderCast series, which will be available today for sure, and maybe other times. So welcome to the first episode, the first The segment is called BlenderCast. So, what it is we're going to randomly talk about something for 5 or 6 minutes. Today's topic is how to survive dealing with a blended family. We've been doing this, blending our family for
over 11 years.
A really long time now. And along the way, even though it looks like in the vlog every day, like we're really good at it, I mean, we are, but there are very, very, very many obstacles that come with a blended family. Obstacle number one, and the biggest obstacle, I think, is communication between ourselves and the other parents. You have to get to a point where you're able to communicate with the other parents. Whether you like each other or don't like each other, you have to be able to communicate, because your kids don't care if you like each other. They just want everybody to get along, right?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's.
What do you think the biggest obstacle is?
I think a big obstacle is having the kids respect the step parent.
I've never had that problem.
In a sort of manner. No.
I'm just kidding.
But that's an obstacle, and it was still, like, it's so much better now, but I mean, it wasn't always like that, and there's still times where I know him or I are like, you know what I mean? Really?
So how do you get a stepchild to respect you?
Well, I think you showing them respect is one thing. And then I also feel like maybe...
Like buying them candy?
No. Respecting them as a person. I don't know. I know we treat each other's kids as if they were our own. So I think that helped in the progress where we are today.
Well, I think that's exponential in the equivocation of the evidence of pushing yourself to be an exceptional step parent as opposed to paternal parent. You see what I did? I just used a lot of big words and people got confused because I don't even know what I put together there. But if you don't treat them like they're one of your children and you don't involve them in all activities like you would involve your child, then they don't like you.
Yeah.
So that's
they feel
important.
left out. And that, I think, is a big thing that you want to make sure you don't ever want anyone feeling left out, not loved, or, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that's in any normal household as well. You want to do that for your children.
Even like your normal children?
Like, well, your blood children. What? Like, your American family, you know, your normal American family where it's husband, wife, their children.
As opposed to Canadian family.
No, as opposed to a blended family.
Oh.
So, I guess, yeah, that's how I see it. Because
also, you should buy them candy.
Sure.
It's important. It helps. Always buy them better Christmas presents than your own children, and they will love you more.
No, that's not how come on now, you know money doesn't...
Actually, the truth of the matter is that, honestly, even though one may think you could buy a child, it's not true, because I can honestly say, sitting here in the beginning of this, we probably both tried to buy the other children and do expensive things for the other children that maybe we wouldn't have typically done just to gain that child's approval. And it does not work. No. Like, they like you for like the 20 minutes while they're playing with or eating whatever you've gotten them.
The conversations.
And then stuff. They don't like you anymore. You have to be actively involved in their activities and their interests. And even if you hate Donald Trump, you have to go up to your oldest stepchild and have conversations with him about why Donald Trump should be president. Because these are the things you have to do. Whether they're your child or stepchild, you have to actively explore their interests and become involved in them.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
He knew I wasn't for Trump, but I backed him in the fact that he's able to have his opinion.
And then she voted for Trump.
No, I did not.
Because Gavin talked her into it. I mean, the whole idea of this is to help you out there if you're newer into a blended family or if you're having issues with a blended family.
Not saying we're perfect,
but we've been doing this a very long time now, and I like to think we're actually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
We give all our kids hugs goodnight and tell them all I love you the exact same way. We do everything for one that we would do for the next.
Correct.
You know, just like Gavin, for example, he said, how come you're not buying me a car or helping me buy a car? And the reason was because we're teaching you responsibility, and that responsibility will then carry over to the next 4 children, not the next 3 of my children or 4 of my children and skip Cameron. And the same goes for her. Like, she's not going to just buy Cameron a car and Dylan a car and ignore the other 3. You have to be consistent with your roles and what you're doing inside the house. And they all have to understand that, like, if you beat one of them, you will beat them all. Like, I can't go up and beat Gavin and then be like, Cameron, I'm not going to beat you if you do the same thing. He has to understand that I'm going to beat him too.
Yeah, you don't.
No, I don't beat any of them, so.
No, but, yeah.
That's that one boundary that I've never been able to overcome personally. If I'm talking about one thing that I can never do, like, I'm not going to say I beat my children, but when they were younger, like, I would paddle my kids on the ass if they got out of line. Like, I grew up in a house where I was spanked, and so I'm not saying like punch your kid in the face, but if you have to like tap a hand or smack the booty to like get their attention, that's totally acceptable in my mind. If CPS watches this video, then I don't do that. But
it's not illegal to do that
as long as you don't leave a mark, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. So also, but here's the thing: I could never do it to Cameron. I've never had, and I've had him since he was this big. And I could never, like, swat his hand or do anything bad to him. So, I don't...
And same here.
I mean, I can yell at him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have an issue with yelling at him.
Yeah.
And you should yell at your stepchildren so they feel welcome into your home. And so, like, if I'm going to scream at one, I'll scream at Cameron, too. Because it's only fair. Like, and I will scream at him equally as loud as I will scream at somebody else. And I think that's a lot of that goes unnoticed inside the vlog, where we always look happy. There's a lot of yelling that goes on in this house. So if
I'm a yeller.
She's totally a yeller, and she swears like a trucker. So
yeah.
If you're in this blended family and you think it's bad to yell at your blended children, it's not. It's totally acceptable.
Not if you do it to your own.
It's totally acceptable. You shouldn't yell at like your stepchild more than your normal child or all American child, as she says. You shouldn't yell at that child more. You should yell at them evenly and consistently. But they need to understand that you're the adult, and that will actually garner you respect. Because I've had Gavin especially come up to me in recent months and say to me, I don't know who it was, but somebody talked back to Amanda, and we were upstairs, and he was hearing Amanda yell at, it was probably Landon, hearing Amanda yell at him. And Gavin's exact words were, like, it's tough to understand, Dad, but she means well, so he should just accept being yelled at by Amanda. She only does it because she loves him. So when you're like 16-year-old understands that, like you start to...
He said that?
He did.
Oh, that touches my heart.
Right. Oh,
really?
I forgot to tell you about that.
Okay.
Anyway, but it's nice to know that, like, because we've had so many conversations about, like, are they ever going to get it? Are they ever going to understand? And they do get to a point, your children and stepchildren will get to a point where they kind of understand, like, why you're doing what you're doing, whether you're a blended family or a non-blended family. But if you guys ever have any questions or anything on how we do what we do, we're happy to help. This is all off the top of our heads, so we didn't really script anything or plan anything. But we're happy to help anytime you need help with any kind of blended family questions or just normal family questions, because even though we're blended, we like to think we're kind of normal.
I mean, it's been 11 years, and they were all small, so, I mean, we've been doing it.
It's pretty much one house.
It really is.
But it does help, again, to be able to communicate with the other parents. I kind of have a rule of thumb, and so does she. Like, if her baby daddy pisses her off and they're arguing about something, I try very hard not to get involved, and for the most part, I don't. And that goes the other way, too.
Yep.
And I do think that's kind of key. It's good if you can have a mutual understanding, the 4 of you or however many parents there are.
A lot of the times I know that I'm, like, the middle person, like, in your situation.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of involved, but I'm not.
Well, it's okay to be involved a little bit, but once it becomes aggressive, because things, not like physically aggressive,
No.
but like verbally, like if two parents, if like her and Cameron's dad can't get along and it's becoming like an argument, I try like hell to stay out of that unless I would absolutely necessarily have to be involved, and she does the same thing.
Right.
You got to let those people fight it out, because even though they're not together, and I think that becomes early stages of like a blended family. There's like Maybe it's like a jealousy thing where you think you're only fighting because they still like each other. No, they're fighting because they can't agree on what to do with the child's well-being. And that's all that is. And you can give input, but try to stay the hell out of it because it just really makes things worse.
And I find there's a lot of, I just see on Facebook a lot where there's a lot of bashing the other parent. That is something we don't do.
Oh, that is also that's good. You brought that up.
That's a good one because I feel like my child is sitting here. So if I'm gonna badmouth his father, he shouldn't. That's not helping my child. Same with getting along. You need to get along because it's for your children. So if you two continue to fight, that's doing nothing for your child but hurting the child. Like just because, you know, whatever your history is with the other parent, it has nothing to do with your child. I can almost guarantee it. So that's when you guys need to set aside your differences and work together for the child or the children.
Thanks, Dr. Phil.
Well, really am I not right, though?
No, that was good, yeah.
Because
you definitely should not bash. Like, she never says anything bad about my kid's mother in front of them.
Or my kid's father.
Wait, that came out.
That didn't come out
I said
bad.
it in front of them. Listen, okay. Over the past 11 or 12 years, I'm sure there's been a time where, like, I've said some crappy stuff about, like, her baby daddy, and she said some crappy stuff about my baby mama, because there's been drama. I'm not going to lie to you. There's been drama. But if there ever is drama, and we ever have anything bad to say, which we don't right now, I'm just saying in the past. We haven't in a while. I'm sure they've said bad stuff about us, and we've said bad stuff about them. But you should never do it in front of kids. Never, ever, ever. Keep those feelings to yourself, and that will...
Your kids will get... I understand if that other parent is a bad parent or whatever you may personally think.
Our other parents are not bad parents. That's not what we're saying.
But your children will figure it out on their own. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, because there are some there are dads out there, moms out there that have absolutely nothing to do with their children. And for the parent that is taking care of that child, they should not be saying, well, your father did this, neglected you, left you, you know.
Let them figure it out.
Let them figure it out on their own. They're allowed to have their own assumptions, and that's how we kind of raise our kids. They're entitled to their own opinion. But yeah, I feel like that's something that the children can figure out.
If they want to come talk to you about it and they want to ask you questions about it, be open and honest with them. But there's no reason to bash the other parent in this situation. I can tell you, we
like a drama-free life.
I hate drama. It is literally my least favorite thing. Anytime we have even the smallest amount of drama, and it does happen, not in a very long time.
Very, very occasional. And if it does happen, it's usually quickly resolved because all the parents, you know, us and then the other children's parents, I think we've come to the point where, I mean, it's been like this for a while, but where we just talk it out and figure it out because fighting about it really, it doesn't go anywhere. So you're always going to have, like him and I have a conflict, you know what I mean? But we work it out. So it's obviously it's going to happen with the other parents, but it, you know, we just figure it out calmly.
And what's drama sucks. Stay away from drama. It's so silly. Mm-hmm. It's not even worth it, and then you'll just stay up at night all mad. So there's another tip: don't do drama. So anyway, this has been our very first BlenderCast. I said 5 or 6 minutes. We're at about 14. So we have a good, solid, filled-up vlog today. Now, sorry if we rambled, but we wanted to get our points across. Again, if you have any questions or anything else you want us to talk about in the BlenderCast, just let us know.
Yes.
Great segment. That was good. High five. Sweet. It's time for the Landenbergie.
Joke of the day. Why did the melon jump in the lake?
I don't know. Why did the melon jump into the lake?
It wanted to be a watermelon. I'm hilarious. I'll be all right.
Do that stupid dance again.
Ooh, me and them are both doing it. Yeah.
So dumb.
What you mean, bro?
We just wanted to play Fortnite. We just had to reboot our internet. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Spectrum internet sucks so bad. But it's okay. We get through, and Amanda rebooted the box, and now it's fine, I think. So now we're going to play. So until tomorrow, Blender Blades, hit the puree button.
And keep out blended.
Hope you enjoyed the BlenderCast, me and Dylan's candy. Cam drop.
Where I go is home.